I feel like the power lines and that dust storm that happened in Vegas was a move of God. And a lot of times we are saying that the people in upper echelons are creating this. And all of this, we give them so much power, but we forget that in the Bible, Jesus used the wind, the rain, the lightning. Those was a means of how he used on earth to speak to his people. I truly believe that we are in not just a spiritual battle when we talk about days of darkness, and the Bible speaks about this in Isaiah 60:2. The days of darkness is not just naturally, but it is also spiritually. So the verse Isaiah 60:20, this verse basically prophesies for, behold, darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the peoples, but the Lord will arise upon you, and his glory will be seen upon you. So this passage is basically suggesting that there will be a period of widespread spiritual darkness preceding a time of God's glorious manifestation. So anytime God is getting ready to bring a manifestation of his glory and of who he is, there's always a great manifestation physically. You go and you do research in Vegas, the poles, the electricity poles snapped right into the middle. And nothing is making sense to the natural man. And people think that it's the upper echelons and that they are trying to create something to see how people are going to respond. But we forget the power of God. In fact, there's a video showing that the wind was blowing and power lines just went down, and the buildings, the roof was just coming off. I believe that this was very symbolic. Number one, the fallen power lines is a symbolic, saying the source. And the power lines meaning power is our source here, how we live. Everything that we need is through electricity. So God was literally proving by wind, and I'm going to get to the scripture with wind, but the source is falling. That's what God was. It was symbolic. The snap poles is meaning the systems are breaking. He's breaking all of the systems of this world. God has used wind as a source in the Bible many times, but it basically symbolizes his power, his presence, and his intervention. And for an example, God was commanding the wind to bring about destruction or deliverance out of Jonah. If you go read the story of Jonah, God used wind to bring about destruction and deliverance. If you read Exodus 14:21, God used the east wind to divide the Red Sea. There are many other scriptures where Jesus uses the wind to command the wind for purpose. You must understand that this world is spiritual, and everything surrounding a lot of things that we see in this world that is happening is spiritual. We give too much credit to the enemy. God is the same God of the Bible, okay? And he's never changing. He's evolving, but he's never changing because he's God. I believe that the Bible speaks of darkness, in that the darkness is very symbolic, and it's symbolic to this times that we will be experiencing darkness. But not only that, we must understand that the hand of God and the judgment of God is going to move upon this earth. It is not always the people in the upper echelons, the bigwigs. They do not have that much power. God has all the power. He has the say so over. He allows what happens. So please understand, the darkness that we are experiencing will be spiritual, and it will manifest in the natural. That's why we must seek God and seek his will, so we are not manipulated in these times. Think everything is the G people. They trying to do this, because some of it is the judgment of God. I don't know what Sin City did to the Lord, but he mad at y'all. Kind of. I am praying for anyone is hurt or damaged, not having power for a month, I believe they're saying, out in Vegas. But just know that these times are going to increase everywhere. Nobody is going to be above. If you are a child of God, God will protect his people. That's why we must dive and seek him and seek the things of God and know who he is and know his voice. Know what's God and what is not. Because this world gonna tell you everything, but that ain't God. Know him, know his character, know his word.